Greetings everyone, Rankhill here to give you an insight about my Witch Doctor that I've been building up on the live stream. I've been building this up for quite a while, but I feel now is a good time to show you what I have. For a while, people have wanted the Witch Doctor to be a true summoner class. With the Reaper of Souls, that is happening. Legendary affixes are bringing new life to skills that were otherwise useless before, and small changes to previous skills are making for great synergy bonuses. Our old friend the Homunculus has returned, this time sporting level 70 stats, and retains the old maximum cooldown reduction of 20 seconds for both zombie dogs and Gargantuan. We also have a buff to Gargantuan, Wrathful Protector, which brought him from dealing 110% weapon damage to 575%. With cooldown reduction gear and the passive Tribal Rights, we can approach an always-up status of Gargantuan. Aided by the Tasker and Theo gloves, which give 100% attack speed to pets, and the Mask of Duram giving 100% damage, we're actually seeing a quadruple of Gargantuan's damage to 2,300%. With the Reaper of Souls, Witch Doctor's gained a new passive, Midnight Feast. This gives us the ability to summon one additional dog and improves the damage of our zombie dogs and Gargantuan by 50%. Combined with the previous passive Zombie Handler, which gave one extra dog and 20% health to your dogs and Gargantuan, we can now summon 5 dogs. But wait! There's more. And I'm not satisfied with 5 dogs, we want more. So how many more? 6 zombie dogs? 7? How about 8? Seems like a good number, right? We can stop there. Hell no! Okay, seriously, this has to be crazy. We can't have 9 dogs, can we? That's right, we can't, because we can get 10 zombie dogs! With the Reaper of Souls, there were tweaks done to previous skills. One of those tweaks was to Big Bad Voodoo, more specific to the rune the Boogeyman, which gives a 50% chance to spawn a dog when monsters die. This adds to the dogs that you already have existing and brings it up to a maximum of 10 dogs that can be summoned. So what about the rest of the skills? Well, for Mouse 1, we have Grasp of the Dead, Death is Life, which has a 10% chance to spawn a dog or a health globe when an enemy dies in the area. Unfortunately, this doesn't work like Big Bad Voodoo and won't spawn extra dogs, but we're really not using this for the dog spawn and more using it for the health globes to keep the dogs alive. And a little bit more on that later. On Mouse 2, we have Plague of Toads with Explosive Toads. Button 1 is Spirit Walk with Jaunt, which increases the duration from 2 to 3 seconds. Summon Zombie Dogs with Leeching Beasts, which was changed from healing them for 50% of the damage they dealt to gaining 100% of your life on hit. Pairing that with the mentioned Big Bad Voodoo and Gargantuan rounds out the skills. For passives, we have Midnight Feast, Zombie Handler, Pierce the Veil, which gives 20% bonus damage for 30% increased resource cost, and then Tribal Rights giving a 25% cooldown reduction on Zombie Dogs, Gargantuan, and Big Bad Voodoo. But you're probably wondering, where's my spender? What am I doing with damage? All I've got on my bar for damage abilities is a time spender and my primary attack. And why the hell do you have Grasp of the Dead on Mouse 1? Well, first, Grasp of the Dead is on Mouse button 1 because when the spell is on cooldown, your primary attack will automatically cast in the Reaper of Souls, as long as you have it equipped somewhere on your bar. This means that my primary attack is actually Plague of Toads. But then you're wondering, well, Plague of Toads doesn't do that much damage. Well, you see, it did get a buff going from a baseline of 169%, bringing it up to 245%, but that's really still not enough. The pathing of the Toads was made more in line with what we see on the console, and the guys have been drinking and slamming energy drinks all day, and they really seem to move around right now. But still, there's something missing. But the best part is from the Renho Flare Ceremonial Knife. This makes the frogs home in on their targets and give a chance for them to explode twice, effectively making them deal twice their damage, which makes it almost 500% weapon damage for free. And this is the reason why I'm using Pierce the Veil. With no real mana cost at all, I don't have to worry about wasting any mana, so therefore the 30% increased mana cost doesn't really do anything, I'm just gaining 20% bonus damage. So how do you get this all to work? Usually I start with 5 dogs, so go into a group and try and gather up a bunch of guys together, cast a Big Bad Voodoo and lay waste everything in it to get your dogs. You don't really need any of the dog passives, because you can actually get all 10 dogs from this. Tribal Rights reduces the cooldown of Big Bad Voodoo as well as your dogs, so you can be sure to have them up in either 5 or up to 10, depending on the situation. Now that you got your army of dogs, you can let your little friends go to town on these guys, auto-casting your Grasp on the targets, picking up some health globes to keep them out of life, and then casting your Plague of Toads on the enemies. Now, dogs and Gargantuans can hit hard and fast, but they're still dumb as rocks. Dogs and Gargantuan love standing in the stupid, such as Desecrator, Fire Chains, Poison Pools, and Molten Ground. This is why we're using the Life on Hit rune for the dogs and spawning globes with Grasp of the Dead and trying to keep 5 dogs available with the cast to summon dogs with the 2 passives. With this, I've been doing okay on Torment 4 without Crushing Blow. I can go up to Torment 5, but it just ends up getting a little bit too difficult still with the monster health that they have without Crushing Blows. I have done Torment 6 with a group, and it's relatively sketchy because of the spike damage and how much health the monsters have. And also, I'm probably running with a lower toughness than I have because I haven't been putting all of my focus onto my Witch Doctor and focusing a little bit on other classes and my hardcore characters, but that can be solved with gear progression to increase those. The main things to look out for in this build is getting enough cooldown reduction to have a practically permanent Gargantuan up, to get the ceremonial knife, and then to have the helm and the gloves. Everything else really is just a matter of upping your damage, upping your toughness. So there you have it, the 10-dog summoner build. Hope you enjoyed it, and you can watch me muck around with it sometime on the live stream. Let me know what you think of the video, and if you want to be updated when I put out more Reaper of Souls videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, farewell.
My strike is true. Need more time.